All right, everyone, welcome back to POP Podcast for another deep dive.
It's great to be here.
We talk a lot about staying safe online, and I
Mhm.
feel like every week there's a new threat to watch out for.
Yeah, it's a never-ending battle.
Yeah, it really is. But today we're going deep on something called smishing scams.
Smishing.
Yeah. So it's like a combo of SMS and phishing.
Ah, I see. So those scammy text messages we all get.
Exactly. And these things are targeting everyone, iPhone and Android users. No one is immune.
And they can be so convincing too, right?
Oh, absolutely. They prey on our trust in text messages. We're so used to getting important alerts and notifications on our phones.
Payment confirmations, appointment reminders.
Right, all that stuff. So it's easy to let our guard down when we see a text that looks official.
Makes sense. And what kind of info did you find on this?
Well, we've got some really good sources for this deep dive.
Yeah.
First off, there's this FBI warning about a huge surge in smishing attacks.
Oh, wow. The FBI's involved. That's serious.
Yeah, it's no joke. And we've also got this report from the cybersecurity pros over at Palo Alto Networks, Unit 42.
Unit 42.
Yeah, they do some really amazing work, and they've got all the details on how these scams actually play out.
So how do they work?
Well, one of the classic ones is the toll payment scam.
Toll payment.
Yeah, it starts with a text message claiming you have an unpaid toll fee and you need to act fast to avoid penalties.
I've seen those before.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere, and they can look so real.
So what happens if you click the link?
That's where the trouble starts. They usually take you to a fake website that looks just like the real deal.
And then they ask for your payment info?
Yep, credit card number, security code, the whole shebang.
Oh, man, that's scary.
It is, and I almost fell for a parking ticket scam like that once.
Really?
Yeah, I was rushing, saw the message, and my heart just sank. Panic, thinking I had an overdue ticket.
I can totally relate to that.
Yeah, I was this close to clicking the link before I took a closer look and realized something was fishy.
That's a good reminder to always take a moment and think before you click.
Exactly. But here's the really crazy part. Even with security features, like Apple's iMessage, blocking suspicious links, these scammers have found workarounds.
Workarounds.
Yeah, they actually tell you to copy and paste the URL into your browser to bypass the security altogether.
Wow. That's sneaky.
It's like they're handing you the key to your own digital vault and saying, go ahead, unlock it.
Yikes. And what's the worst that can happen if you fall for it?
Well, the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, has issued warnings that clicking these links can not only drain your bank account, but also steal your identity.
Double whammy.
Talk about a nightmare.
This doesn't sound good.
Not at all. But it doesn't stop there. These scams are constantly evolving like those shape-shifting creatures in sci-fi movies.
Right. Always changing.
The Unit 42 report highlights how they've moved beyond toll payments and are now using fake delivery service alerts.
Oh, so like a text saying your package is delayed or something.
Exactly. They're latching onto those everyday online activities we all do. Who hasn't eagerly clicked a tracking link, especially around the holidays?
True. Everyone loves getting packages.
The anticipation is real, but that excitement can also make us vulnerable.
Because you're not thinking straight.
Right. And these scammers, they know how to play on our emotions, and they're not messing around. They're even using tricky domains that look like they belong to real companies.
Oh, wow. So you might not even realize it's fake.
They're mimicking companies like DHL, FedEx, even SunPass.
So how can you tell if it's a scam?
Well, they're using this .xin top-level domain, which many people probably wouldn't even recognize.
.xin, I've never even heard of that.
Exactly, and that's how they trick you. The FTC gives this simple but crucial advice. Legitimate U.S. companies won't use foreign domains for their services.
Ah, okay, so that unfamiliar domain extension, that's a huge red flag.
Giant flashing red alert.
Got it. So we're seeing the scope of this problem. It's huge. And it's clear that these scammers are getting more sophisticated.
Definitely, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the world of smishing, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back with more after a quick break.
We'll be digging even deeper into how these scams are evolving and what you can do to protect yourself. And it gets even trickier because they're not just sending those fake messages, they're actually creating roadblocks to make the scam more convincing.
Roadblocks. How so?
Well, there was this case in Detroit where victims received error messages when they tried to pay the fake toll.
An error message. So what happened?
The message would say something like, their card was declined, prompting them to try again with a different card.
So they're actually trying to get even more of your financial info.
Exactly. It's like a digital pickpocket who also asks for your PIN.
This is getting seriously scary. It's like a whole other level of deception.
It really highlights the importance of verifying any requests for payment, no matter how legitimate they seem.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Always go directly to the company's official website or use their official phone number. Don't rely on any contact info provided in the text itself.
That's good advice. Trust but verify, right?
Exactly. But even if you're super careful, sometimes those scams can slip through the cracks. So what happens if you do fall victim? Is there anything you can do?
Good question, because it feels like once you've clicked that link, the damage is done.
Not necessarily. The FBI and the FTC have some great advice on how to stay.
Okay, so what do they recommend?
First off, report any suspicious texts to the Internet Crime Complaint Center, that's IC3 for short, and to your phone carrier.
So reporting those texts actually helps. I always thought it was just a way to vent my frustration.
It does more than you think.
All right.
Reporting helps the authorities track these scams and hopefully shut them down. The more data they have, the better they can understand the patterns and take action.
Got it. Reporting is crucial. What else can we do?
Well, like we discussed, verify everything. Don't just take that text message at face value. Check with the company directly through their official channels.
And if something seems off?
Delete it immediately, out of sight, out of mind.
But what if you've already clicked a bad link or given out personal information? Is there any hope?
Don't panic. Take immediate steps to secure your accounts. Change your passwords, contact your bank, and dispute any unauthorized transactions. The quicker you act, the better.
Solid advice. We'll be sure to include links to the IC3 and other resources in the show notes so everyone can easily find them. This is all super helpful, and it's clear that we need to be extra vigilant, especially with this trend of cybercriminals focusing on our smartphones.
Exactly. It's what cybersecurity experts are calling a mobile-first attack strategy. Smartphones are now the prime target.
Which is kind of ironic, right? Our phones are supposed to make our lives easier, but they're also making us more vulnerable. It's like carrying around a mini computer in your pocket that's constantly under attack.
It's true.
Yeah.
And why are smartphones such attractive targets?
Well, think about it. We're glued to these things. We check them first thing in the morning, last thing at night. They're always within reach. And that constant accessibility makes us more likely to let our guard down and click on something without thinking.
You're not wrong. There's a lot of mindless scrolling and clicking that happens.
And that small screen size doesn't help either. It's harder to scrutinize links and messages, so we're more likely to click impulsively.
It's almost like our brains are wired to react quickly on our phones.
I know. I've definitely been there.
A cybersecurity firm called Zimperium issued a warning about this, highlighting how the convenience of smartphones can backfire when it comes to security. On a small screen, you might not even notice the full URL or domain extension.
Right. You just see a familiar name and assume it's safe.
It's easy to miss those red flags, especially when you're in a hurry.
And let's be honest, sometimes we're just rushing and not paying full attention.
It happens to the best of us, but those mistakes can be costly.
So what's the takeaway here?
Knowledge is power. The more we understand these tactics, the better we can protect ourselves.
This is some serious food for thought. If you're finding this deep dive into the world of smishing scams as eye-opening as I am, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're bringing you these deep dives every week, so stay tuned for more fascinating topics.
We still have more to uncover about this sneaky world of smishing.
Oh yeah, there's definitely more to come.
There are some fascinating real-life stories that really highlight how anyone can be a target, even people you wouldn't expect. Like, who would have thought even a lawyer could fall for one of these scams?
Right, you'd think they would know better.
Well, it turns out Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill was targeted by one of these scams.
The Attorney General. Wow.
It just goes to show that anyone can be a victim.
So it's not just about being tech-savvy. It's about being aware and cautious in all aspects of our digital lives.
We need to be extra careful about what we click on and who we trust online.
It's a reminder that cybersecurity is an ongoing process. We can't just set it and forget it.
Absolutely. We need to stay informed, adapt to new threats, and be proactive about protecting ourselves.
Well said. This deep dive into the world of smishing scams has been truly eye-opening.
Yeah, we've learned a lot.
We've uncovered the tactics, the risks, and most importantly, the steps we can take to protect ourselves.
And remember, even if you think you're tech-savvy, anyone can be a target.
So stay vigilant, stay informed, and don't be afraid to ask questions if something seems off.
Absolutely. And if you see something, say something, report those suspicious texts to the authorities.
If you've enjoyed this deep dive and feel empowered to navigate the digital world with more confidence, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
We've got more deep dives coming your way, exploring all sorts of fascinating topics.
Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and don't let those scammers get the best of you.